Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. My name is Vinny and I'm joined with today's guest, Richard. He's selling his Amazon FBA business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Richard. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Nice to chat to you, Vinny.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine. I'm looking forward to talking about this business in particular. And just before we get stuck in, I just want to go over a very brief summary of the listing. So today's business is an Amazon FBM, an e-commerce business in the pet care, children, office and home niches created in March 2014. The average monthly revenue for the business is $232,826 and it makes an average of $34,101 per month in net profit. The assets included in this sale are 3 domains, including all of the site's content and files, the Amazon Seller Central account with 166 SKUs, 3 registered trademarks, 3 eBay accounts, a variety of social media accounts. And please remember that inventory isn't normally included in the listing price and further details will be provided to active buyers. You can head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 49028 to learn more about the business. If you want to start your due diligence, just remember to unlock the listing first. All right, Richard, so that's just a general overview about your FBA business, but can we find out a bit about you? Can you tell me a bit about your background in running and building online businesses?
Well, after various jobs, I built a computer business in the UK and ran that for 21 years. And one time had over 500 employees. We were like a mini Dell. But unfortunately, in 2007, that hit the ropes when average price of computers had dropped significantly. Margins were in the pants. So ultimately, that was closed. And after a period of time and reflection, 2 of the guys that used to work for me and I got together. And that's how the website and the move into online marketing really got going.
Gotcha. Okay. So sounds like you've definitely got a lot of experience with tech and the online world for sure. Why did you choose Amazon FBA as your chosen business model for this particular venture?
Well, to be honest, Vinny, it developed into an Amazon FBA business model. When we started, Amazon and FBA wasn't such the prime mover in the products. It was eBay was the primary seller and the websites. But as we moved into FBA, it just became stronger and stronger. And as a consumer, I know that's what people want. I mean, I rarely buy anything off Amazon that's not in FBA. So we've moved more and more and more towards shipping FBA products. And it's been, as you can see from the numbers, it's been great. It's been successful. And long may it continue.
Absolutely, definitely agree on that. It's an interesting point there that you raised about how eBay was and I agree as well, maybe 10 or so years ago, perhaps eBay was maybe, the more popular e-commerce platform, but then as the years rolled on, FBA really carved itself a niche in the e-commerce space for sure. Speaking of niches, let me ask you why your business is selling products in a variety of niches. How did you come upon selling in these different niches? Was that by chance as well, or was that a more conscious decision?
A combination of both, actually, was really the idea of Sean, who's the sort of my right-hand man. And there's only 3 of us involved. And the idea came mutually, I guess, but predominantly from Sean. And we started selling certain products that we still sell now and in big numbers, and we definitely the Amazon choice on some of those. But further down the line, our range for the primary brand was getting harder to find products, I guess you'd say. So launched into second brand, a range of products there, And it's life. You look at what's available, you plan ahead and think, we could do some business in that category. So that's how we've ended up with 3 brands. It's a process of future planning, niches that you think you can do well in. And fortunately, we've got 3 that have all been nicely successful.
For sure. And like you said, the numbers back that up. But, our listeners will be wondering, given the success of the business so far, why are you selling the business right now instead of staying with it and keep growing it?
I'm old, Vinny. I'm 68. I need to get out. My wife wants me to retire. And there's only 3 of us involved in this business. And, well, I'm beyond retirement age. The other 2 are approaching. And we just think it's the right time. And the business has got so much scope, some fresh ideas, fresh input of finance. If we had more finance available, the opportunity to expand, I wouldn't say endless, but it's bountiful. And, we've been constrained by available capital, and we've had to build up as capital became available. But, I'm not saying someone should load the business up with massive amount of capital, but certainly there are some SKUs that I would have liked to take on now if we had available funding.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Like you said, I think there's a time and a place for everything in life. And yeah, I think it's just time to move on from this one. I just want to touch on your experience now. While you were running the business, what did you feel really worked for you while you were scaling it?
Very tight controls. We keep everything very, very tight. Sean, who I mentioned earlier, his attention to detail was only one word for it, anal. I've never known anyone like him. He's got everything down to the penny, all the margins, the delivery costs, the returns, everything is down absolutely spot on. And we've kept it really tight, and it's enabled us to just continue to grow nicely.
Yeah, I got you. And let me ask you, what did you try that didn't work as you were growing the business?
We've tried certain lines that, we bought once, sold through, discontinued. If they don't sell well, we don't repeat them. We haven't had many failures, to be absolutely honest, but, that has happened.
Gotcha. Let me just ask you about marketing then. What do you currently do in terms of marketing for the business right now?
Well, obviously, cost per click advertising is important. And, we keep that to a very sensible percentage of overall sales, monitor it reasonably closely. I wouldn't profess, that's one of the areas I look after. I'm absolutely no expert, but we seem to do quite well at it. We are really, really weak on social media marketing and pushing traffic either to the website or to Amazon. A buyer could really start to clean up with if they have those skills. We've been too busy with all the current business and keeping everything going through FBA, managing stock, etc., that has slipped under the radar.
Okay, that sounds like a potential growth opportunity there. Someone with the right marketing skills might be able to drive more traffic to the Amazon store, it sounds like.
That's absolutely true. It's a weakness. We know about it, but we don't have the manpower to resolve it. As I said earlier, we're ready to bow out of the business and consequently have been reluctant to take on extra staff. We did use an agency, India, for a while to help manage the cost per click advertising. I have to say I learned a few tricks from them, but ultimately we don't use them anymore. But I'm not complaining about their service. That's it. At the moment, we handle it all ourselves.
Yeah, that's good to know. We'll touch more on the opportunities in just a second, but I want to ask you, on a day-to-day or even a weekly basis, can you just describe what's the type of work that you do to maintain the business right now?
Okay, well, me personally, I've already admitted my old age, and I'm only really a part-time contributor to the success of this business. The other guys are handling the shipments in, shipments out, shipments to Amazon, returns, financial side of it. As I said, I'm the ideas personally. I keep an eye on the cost per click advertising. I deal with the listings. When we have a new product, I take control of the photography, the wording on the listings, etc. So in terms of hours per week, I guess I'm doing probably, well, definitely no more than 20. And I'm sure the guys would probably laugh if I said I'm doing 20.
So it sounds like a lot of it is delegated to other people right now. So it sounds relatively hands-off right now.
Yes and no, but we'll call it relatively hands-off. I like to think I've got a pretty good track of what's happening, and I don't have to get involved with too much of detail. I'm not a detail person, if that's far from it. Fortunately, I've got someone else to take care of that.
Okay, let's dig a bit deeper into the opportunities then. We've already talked about marketing as one huge potential growth opportunity for the right buyer. And if you stayed with the business, what are the other ways that you would try to grow it?
I would like to obviously expand some of the niches that we're in. The most recent one is wide open for further product innovation, some more sort of exclusivity to those products. I've already got a little backlog of ideas and products that I would like to introduce, and some of them we will introduce, but it's over a period of time.
Okay, so it sounds like it's mainly like basically expanding the product lines really by perhaps breaking off into different subcategories or bigger categories and trying to grow the store in that way.
Yeah, that's correct. But as we've already touched on, a potential buyer can take this a lot further if they have the requisite skills in-house or that's their mode of operation.
Okay. Obviously, with all businesses, there's always going to be inherent risk. What would you say are the biggest risks for this business that a buyer should be aware of?
I don't think there are any major risks except falling foul of Amazon. We're ultra careful that everything we do, we don't incur the wrath of the mighty giant that can close a store down in a heartbeat. So we're ultra careful about that type of thing. But other risks, I don't really see any major risks. It's a pretty diverse portfolio of products. It's a steady ongoing stream of orders that all we can look to do is maximize.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point about sometimes no matter how safe you are with Amazon, it can be quite easy to breach their terms and conditions, obviously without intending to. So I think that's a good shout. The last few questions from me then, Richard. How much support are you offering buyers?
That really remains to be negotiated, but definitely whatever they want, really. I want to sell this business, but we really want it to continue to grow and prosper. And, the skills and expertise that myself and Sean have built up could really benefit a buyer. And obviously it would depend entirely on their requirements. But yeah, we'd be there to do what's necessary.
That's good to know. Are you willing to commit to a non-compete?
Yes, absolutely. No problem with that. My time in life, it's time to take it easy.
For sure. Okay. And are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out, seller financing?
Yeah, possibly. Let's be honest. I would prefer to get things sorted and not have to go through that, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Okay, that's good. Our listeners will appreciate your stance on that. So last question from me. If you put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why would you say that this is a business that's worth buying?
I would say just look at the potential. 3 nice, unique brands that are not in highly competitive areas. The potential, just get on and grow it and grow it.
No, I think that's a fair point. Yeah, as you've highlighted, there's product portfolio is diverse and it seems to be running quite well. There's a few brands that the buyer can play with, experiment with in terms of growth avenues. So there's definitely lots of room to expand for sure. Is there anything that you'd like to share that you think I might have missed during the interview?
I don't think we've touched on our scope into selling into Europe, Vinny. We're VAT registered across all the major European markets and have a growing strength in those areas. And one big potential is currently we use the automatic translation that Amazon provides. I'm sure that all those markets could be made stronger with professional translation, which on the schedule to do at some stage, but we haven't got to it yet. But the business from the European markets is continuing to get stronger. And I feel that we have a a really good foothold in there. And they've recently brought the Netherlands and Sweden online. So the potential continues to grow. Good opportunity.
For sure, yeah. I think getting into the European Amazon marketplaces can be a bit tricky, especially with the VAT aspect. So thanks for sharing that. It's definitely useful knowing that the business is already registered for VAT. And if anyone's listening to this interview, feel free to check out our guide on VAT on the Empire Flippers blog. Richard, thank you so much for joining me on today's interview. All the best, and we hope that your business gets picked up in the very near future.
Thank you very much, Vinny. It's been nice to talk to you.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 49028. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked the listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about the business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.